so much for joining us on Curling Zone. It means so much for you to be here with us. Parker Concha the lead for Team Van Amsterdam. Around their first guard. Maybe the lightweight takeout. Epping Stone. Ian McMillan to pop and flop over center. And this downweight takeout has to come on over. They're not going to get the roll underneath they were desiring. Instead, going to roll open to the wings. And Sean Joyce and Sean, Team Van Amsterdam, Evan's been having a great start to the season, don't you think?
They have. So is the Epping team, for that matter. But that particular shot, it's so key to stay, because you roll out there, they're coming around that guard. So, yeah, you're right. They didn't get the roll they were looking for, but it keeps play away from that center guard. And there's a lot of cat and mouse in these opening ends. But, yeah, both of these teams have had good starts to the season and looking to continue it here. It's a 4.5, 5 foot roll back to the center guard. Nobody's going to want to be in a hurry to try that. You try that and you get halfway there, you just make it easier for your opposition. So he'll probably try to nose hit this one more time, but then Van Amsterdam will be in a situation where he's got to roll towards the middle or he won't be in the house.
Yeah, like you said, cat and mouse indeed.
It is.
So Horgan, both of the Horgan boys playing with John this year.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. This is at least the second year of this lineup, might even be the third. Although they juggled
sure,
around. Yeah, they've had to juggle around a little bit. I think they have to set up for him so they're playing.
Yeah, the results definitely dictate that. Now, he will be able to stay on the rings again with just a small roll.
Yeah, this is where this becomes tricky. You got to be biting the rings, and it's the same for both teams. You got to be biting the rings, but you don't want to roll close enough to that center guard that you tempt your opposition to try to hit and roll in behind cover. Well, that's going to roll more than they would have liked.
Yeah, it does make that roll back much easier for Team Epping.
Yeah, anytime you're looking at a 2-foot roll, most of these teams feel pretty confident they're going to be in the ballpark with something like this. Now, you are rolling behind your opposition's stone, albeit a fairly long guard. Sometimes when you got last rock in this situation, you don't want to necessarily be dead perfect, because if they stick the run back, suddenly you're in trouble.
So the second from Tanner. Gets just a little bit better than edge on edge, but definitely an opportunity for
he didn't overthrow that at all. There's not a lot of curl here. You've done a couple of games already this week.
I just did one earlier.
I haven't seen the ice here. Certainly looks like on any kind of outlet, it's only just birds in the back. It's running very strong.
And we've had plenty of room to curl draw to that point. I think that might have overcard that just a touch.
Yeah, that one went on. There was more weight than the previous time. It's still quite harder. Might be a fine line there.
They're often is, and see. Likely just looking to roll open here.
I think trying to get underneath. He's going to use the finish.
Well, based on the weight selection, it is definitely a nice, easy weight. So here's McMillan on the rush. guard, no problem. Now Morgan's going to try to walk it over to get it, to walk it. That's pretty well done.
Again, just look at that rock going through the back. That's just barely. If it's more than hack weight, it wasn't by much. And he just barely got to the inside of that. He certainly doesn't seem to be getting as much curl on his flat hits as Jeremy got on his first. See what the second one. Now on the intern side closes hard.
I think this one's just a little bit warm. Parker's on it right away to try to walk it over. A little bit happy with the line, holding it straight. Plenty of room past the guard. Cat and mouse there.
Yep.
Now if you were to make the hit and roll it here, teammate Ashton attempted to go around everything.
That's probably why he's indicating just hit it right on the nose.
That's all right.
He'd probably take an inch or so to the inside, but we're only saying get there. It's just a second there.
Just to get onto it. If the set was out, I think we'd be okay, actually.
Well, it went about half an inch, so really close.
Yeah. If he makes this, we got 2 runs out of it.
You can get under in the rings. Dead on the nose, I don't think you are.
Very, very close. You end up dead on the nose. Then you go back to John looking at the skid stews.
Yeah, albeit he'd have to be a little careful because that's going to be a very short run. This is one I think we either get it on the nose and have it available for a short run, or in this case for having to be dead under half of it. Now it's a staggered dead buried. Yes, it's a double card, but it's still right, so maybe the chase is going to turn.
So hard on the car for Parker here. They're going to hit and roll opens to the nibbling rings.
In order to get into the rings, it's got to go well past the guards. Wide to the ring again, and of course the achieve is for the blank.
You see in the background, we are playing the time clocks on this event. So first and 2 for the skipper.
Past the guard and well over it, so to make sure he was in the rings. It stays out for sure. And now, even though this is a long roll, it's the last rock. This is one where, like I said earlier, in the end goal was a chance. So, a good effort here to get the ball rolling. Well, I like being aggressive. If they happen to roll out, so it's probably not like it. Be aggressive, go for the you're not making this one more way to the pitch.
Top 8, top 4. Top 4.
See very little ice being taken. It'll be interesting to see how much curl we get at Moore League. It's not going to be coming with a ton.
No, control. That's all he needs, but it's going to be more than more.
He's going to walk this over, and it's not walking at all. Lucky this even holds the rings. And it won't. It's going to be a relatively uneventful throw through.
Might be playing the rock.
But it's certainly taking an effort at that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It just didn't know how much was going to go because the control kind of hit things that it didn't feel like it was. And again, he didn't look at it. There was nothing heavy, nothing hard. So that'll be something that both can be storing in the memory banks here. It's going in a lot.
Yep, and here they are trying to see what the inside out does and through the house and sails. I think we'll have the hammer when we come back in two after this.
You work the land, you just got to be a jack of all trades type. There's just too much to do. So if you got to be a welder or a farmer or a ditch digger, that's just who you are that day. Then tomorrow you can be somebody else.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Yes. And welcome back to Ste.Marie. It's Henderson Metals Fall Classic brought to you by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. In the blank in the first, Epping still has a hammer. And telling me talk to the best end of the it's been a good compilation of time for Team Epping.
Yeah, they've had a very good start to the season as well. Had some good, strong results, and I can't help but wonder if they bring this up, because hopefully we're through all the issues with the brooms and everything, but this particular team was at the center of a lot of the controversy last year with the foam, and you can't help but wonder if that didn't help, because I think you're right. I think last year was their first year together, but you just wonder if that brought them together, because it was kind of them against the world type of thing. And there certainly is an argument to be made that they were being ganged up on at a couple of events, because they were the one team that had the broom sponsor that was with the especially aggressive foam, let's call it that. So it just seemed like through the season, it seemed like it helped them. That it was an us against the world type of thing, and you can imagine how that helps a team gel in a hurry, because they certainly have done that. Had a good run last year through the playdowns as well.
Okay.
Now that certainly can help a team gel. I mean, you see that in pretty much every sport. You get that underdog mentality, and everybody just kind of bands together, and it really just helps. So they're both behind the tee line there, Shawnee.
Yeah, and that was the 5th rock. So those two behind the tee line, not as much of a threat as they could be. I'm feeling it's a good time to address the center and actually kill all 3 yellows here and possibly roll to leave another corner guard.
And there they go. 1, 2, 3 are now gone. Great shot.
Surprised he stayed that close to center, getting them all going. Didn't see that coming, but he'll take it because now it's his own rock to run back if they bury around it. Because I remember calling some of the games, but the Stu Sells Toronto tanker was the one that Epping won already this year.
So from Ginter here, comes down, it's going to be right on top of the KISS 100.5 logo.
This will be interesting. There's definitely room through the port to get there. These are the types of shots that last in. They just didn't look like they were moving a ton.
And this will be interesting because this one has to come across center.
A little in-out on the release. That'll hold it for a bit. Starting to move down. Should be close.
And away it goes.
You can see half of it. You can try to make a play, but if you lose the shooter, Epping's coming around, so he's going to try to run the guard straight back and get them both. Then at least it would be their rock in front again.
On the one, push back, and that's a
that's
unfortunate roll.
Yeah, it pushed it right in behind the other guard. Like the one reason you're playing that is if something gets buried around it, it's your own rock to run back. And he ends up putting it behind Epping's guard. See, John's just going to look to split the rings and 4-7 to make a decision. Are you going to concede us the opportunity to 2? In which case he just goes after the open. And if you try to go after shot rock and something goes wrong, you open up the possibility of 3 or more though.
So now here's Horgan the other. Jake Horgan. Really nice guy. One of the enjoyable folks to hang around in the curling rink. They're going to drag it down. Really important to try to get it even or deeper, and they do. It does take the double out, so decision time for Evan.
Yeah, I thought he'd hit it for sure for a couple. Like you try to nose hit it a few times and walk it up in the rings, and then you might have some kind of hit and roll off of it to be shot rock behind cover. I think if he hit and roll to the 4 foot from where he is now, he might be able to bite the back of the 4 enough to be shot rock.
So a little further out than we've been with any rocks thus far. Enter on the heavy clean. hit. Important to hang on here. It does.
I'll be honest, I never understand why guys play this shot. You brought the first one behind the tee line for a reason. They nose hit it. You could freeze here.
And now, so here's Jake Horgan with his second stone of the end.
This is kind of what Evan wants you to do. Walk this up in the ring so that he can play hit and roll into the middle off of it eventually. I don't hate the freeze here. You're still in no trouble even if you don't lock it on perfect. You do not want to roll to the back of the forefoot.
Well, Sean, they just rolled to the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, that's not good. It's not even good if he buries it, because if he buries it, Evan just comes down and freezes to the top of it. You can't get it out. He's got a chance to take your end away here. It did stay enough open that he's going to have to play a hit on it. Right, a very quiet hit.
Yeah, they are lining up for the really quiet wait here, Sean. So here's Evans first. Now Parker's going to try to walk it over. This has a long way to walk.
Yeah, even to touch it.
Now, can they kill it? It's got to get out the back, or else it's a total disaster. And that is just clear through the rings.
Decision time for Epping. His first thought was to come around. The problem is you make a double wide target for Evan to run the yellow back into. It's hard to imagine him missing both green stones. And if he happens to hit it perfect, you're going to be forced a tough shot for one. You go to the open side again and just take your deuce. I'm a little surprised they didn't look at trying to come to the face of the Rome. It's the same problem. When you make that too good, Evan comes around the yellow, and now you've got to try a run back to score two against the possible steal.
To your previous point, you're not taking a lot of ice by the standards that we would usually say.
Yeah.
Just the edge of the 8 foot.
Yeah, and he seemed to indicate top 4. You could go top 4, or you could go top 12 if you thought you could vary at top 12. I'm just not sure you can on this ice right now. He doesn't want to be dead beside the other green, because then it's a run back double to Ste.Marie.
And this one is tracking straight. Now, will it make the turn? Coming over now, and they get the correct finish out of it.
A piece behind anyway.
Pretty
Three-quarters.
good piece.
Yeah, 3/4.
So as we said before, decision time again.
Yeah, well, I think Evan's got to play a run. It's just, are you going to try to play the run double, which would be, to hit the first green and still catch the second one? You got to catch the first one very thin. There is room, if you're very unlucky, to put the yellow right between the greens. So he's got to make sure he makes contact when he runs it back. Or you could try the more or less straight back, just run it onto the stone that's just delivered, and it still could stay buried behind the two greens on the right side as we look at Jeremy in the house. It's not an either or, because it's so much different at point of contact. You have to make a clear decision which shot you're playing. Well, they're looking at the freeze on shot stone too. That's not horrible. It's a tough deuce if you make that. It's not an easy
Yeah.
shot.
Absolutely. Now, if the ice was breaking a little bit more, you'd actually try maybe the little tap back if you get to the nose, but it's just not enough swing for that, I don't think, Sean.
It doesn't look like it here. Now, the other thing is we're only in the second end. You might see as the pedal breaks down a little more, you might see a little bit more swing later in the game, too.
So key shot early here for Edmonton and Amsterdam. He's looking at 2 stones that belong to John Epping. Ginter and Concha walking it down. This needs to curl. The line's coming well. Just need to drag. Yeah, just need to drag it there now. Weight's pretty close.
Yeah, they don't want to bounce.
Don't chap off. Oh no.
That was not well managed.
I think the shot could have been made there, Sean. I just think almost a little bit of a brushing error.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just not well managed. There was some off and on sweep that they didn't need to be there. They couldn't afford to. There's got to be some communication in a shot like that, because until you get to about 3/4 of the nose, you just can't afford to bounce off on that. And you'll hear teams in the house all the time when they have the bikes on you. Can't bounce on this line. Can't bounce on this line. Well, that was the communication that wasn't there on that particular shot. They just needed to be off that all the way. It had plenty of room by the guard, and it had plenty of weight to make the shot. They just had to curl before they could do anything with it.
So with the shot for a big 3, it's John Epping with the final stone in the second end. McMillan just on the clean. Tanner Horgan. Like it, just needs to get there with enough weight now. Does it have enough weight?
Yeah,
yes,
to
it
get it
does.
very far.
And that's a score at 3 for John Epping. He jumps out to the lead. And Amsterdam will have the hammer when we come back from Sault Ste.Marie after this.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbach coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
I've got this one. So, how is that?
Wonderful. Now let's do it again.
BDO Assurance, a commitment to quality.
And welcome back to the Henderson's Metals Fall Classic. Presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. Big 3 spot for John Epping in end number 2. Please, friend, Amsterdam needing points here in the 3rd. I'm Dave Schmel, he's Sean Joyce. Gailey's on the production, and that was a three that just kind of snuck up on him a little bit.
Yeah, well, they had the deuce kind of established early, and that was a bad break when they popped that stone in behind cover. But the extra point kind of allowed there just by a little bit of I still say it was a miscommunication on Evan's last stone. It was thrown well enough to make the shot they were looking for, and they just didn't manage it well on the way down the sheet. Bounced open a few inches, and John was able to get it out. If you weld that right on the corner, even if it's on the outside corner, John has a hard time even scoring two. And instead, we end up with a tricky shot just because it's so straight there, but the Epping team has done a good job early in this game throwing those soft weights to get to the nose on those stones. They're throwing just enough weight to kill a stone, and they're doing it consistently, and that's really helping them so far through this first couple of ends. They've made some delicate hits already.
And that's really where the veteran experience comes in, realizing that's the way the game's going to have to be played.
Yeah, turn things around now. Jason Ginter saw this shot made last end. Same situation here, just the colors are reversed. Chance to move all three stones off the center line with one here. The center guard and the two in the house could all be moving on this shot. Yeah, not quite as well moving as Connor Horgan did last end. Yeah, the saving grace here for Evan is that all three of the yellows, there's nothing really staggered. He can run the two closest ones into the rings, so they'll probably make another attempt on that center one back just yet. No, I don't think so. When it's coming in from the angle that it's got to come in from, I don't think he can. But he could certainly make contact with all three of them. And more importantly, I think it's get your shooter a little off center and make two of them move. Oh, I did not think that front one would go all the way out. Boy, that's good action. And we can't hear them, but I understand that the viewers at home can hear them. I don't know what Jeremy Hardy had to say to that rock to get it out. But all he could do was stand there and talk to it because he's not allowed to sweep. It's not behind the tee line. So whatever he said, it worked. That's friendlier than I sometimes talk to the opposition rocks. Yeah, I have to agree with whoever talked about that at the other end. They can see too much of that green stone. They bury around it. It's a short run back. If it was a couple more inches underneath, you might think about this. If you wanted to draw, and you'd have to go really wide, I'd try to draw around the 2 yellows. Again, this green's in a dangerous spot, and you could roll behind your 2 yellows off this too. So there's a way here you can get rid of a dangerous stone and still get a good offensive shot for yourself. Boy, this looks like a tough come around, but you know, on this ice, the hole is bigger than it looks. I mean, a lot of this ice where we see the big late swing, it's tough to get by the wide corner yellow and the green on the top of the 12 foot. I think for what we've seen here in the first couple of ends, you can get through the port. The question is, can you get enough curl to bury at the end? That's a lot of viewers that have no idea what a record is. Wow, they're getting better movement on both their draws and their hits. Look at that. No trouble getting that buried. They've got it buried on the greenstone for that matter. Yeah, you would think it must be. Like, both teams look like they're throwing similar rotation, but, you know, the Epping team does look like it. And to their credit, I mean, because they play on the slam ice, they play sometimes a little bit more curl. So you kind of learn over time to have what we'll call a positive release, where that last motion's a little bit back just to hold it out there a little bit longer. And on this ice, you know, that might be stopping them from getting the same type of finish. Subtle, but you can see it even with John's. There's that little motion back at the end, and it will hold that stone there for a long time. You should still get curl at the end, but his line will hold a lot longer. Not so much he's still on the yellow guard. Well, the issue is, can Evan get it out? He's looking at just freezing. I'm wondering if, again, Evan's team seems to be getting just a little bit more curl. If you could get to the nose, even if it rubs the yellow on the way by, to get it out, because rubbing the yellow actually might help. If it pushes it over, it makes the double tougher. This looks like he's trying to move it, which I like. If you just freeze here, John throws a guard, then how do you ever get two? I do have a few, to be honest. Now, I haven't played any of them in years, but I still have two Well, I have 2 old record players, and then we got one for Christmas a couple years ago from one of our kids with a couple of classic albums, which my wife has opened hers. I didn't open mine. I'm at that point now where if you're going to give me a record, it's that's a collectible. You don't unwrap that anymore. Much tighter coming in. I didn't have to wait to move it though. Yeah, but all he did was tap it up for shot. Now Epping throws the guard, and you're gonna have to play some kind of run, maybe a double run. Now, granted, it could be for 3, but I don't see what John can do other than guard the port. You can't just give him that to pick it out. Yeah. Well, I have to believe this is a guard. I mean, you could come right down and corner freeze the yellow that Emma just threw. It'll do the same thing. It'll act as the guard. And it also kind of takes away the runs. Like I'm looking at the yellow on the corner into the green. There's some risk with that, but you're not. Yeah. Well, even the straight back on the yellow on the green, on the yellow on the green could be for 3 because you're not going to throw any of them real hard. There is a chance you hit it wrong for either one of those. Well, probably more so the 2 yellows straight back on the angle back. There's a chance all you make contact with is yellow. You don't want to give up a steal of 2 here. You don't have to move it a ton. You just have to hit it right. Yeah, no, it's not as straight as he thinks. Like he's got to get to maybe 7/8. Let's say 7/8. 3/4 probably has curled too much to get 3. Anyway, it's still probably good for 2. 3/4 will drive the yellow cross face of the green into yellow into green, and it should stick there. But the top green would be leading in that case. Missed the top one and picked the green. Ugh.
Developed over a decade in collaboration with the finest ice makers this side of the Atlantic, the Pebblehead PB5 is nothing short of a triumph of sophistication and craftsmanship. Weighing less than half its lumbering copper predecessors, yet boasting 10-fold their durability, the PB5 delivers perfect, consistent ice, time after time. The PB5 by Pebbleheads.com, the apex of ice-making ingenuity for the roaring game of curling.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
you work the land, you just got to be a jack of all trades type. There's just too much to do. So if you got to be a welder or a farmer or a ditch digger, that's just who you are that day. Then tomorrow you can be somebody else.
Ste.Marie Airport Development Corporation, owner and operator of the Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, Canada Airport, is proud to support the Sault Curlers Fall Classic and welcome all to beautiful Sault Ste. Marie. The Sault Ste. Marie Airport, go there to get anywhere.
Well, with that steal of one, it's 4-0 for John Epping as we start here in the fourth end of play. Bring the first two into the rings. They don't want to play with any guards anymore. Evan Van Amsterdam will ignore both of them, throw the second corner guard. He's going to try to get some offense built here. They had a chance for 2 or perhaps 3 last end, and just on the Rays rubbed still at the top of the 12 foot. They might have been better, or pardon me, on the 8. If they'd have gotten by, they might have actually got deuce. And it's just been that kind of game for the Van Amsterdam team. They're just getting caught spots on the ice. They didn't really look to be panicked about the weight early on that one, and it's hogged by about 3 feet. Fifth stone of the end, so John Epping still can't make a play on that one tight corner guard. He's going to ask Tanner Horgan to bring another center guard into play. This tight, though, in the 12 foot is just fine. Keep everything in a line on the center line, and at some point in time, Evan Van Amsterdam's going to have to deal with these rocks in the middle.
And here does come another one into the middle.
Well, for the third end in a row, we've got a chance here to see the second man try to move 3 stones off the center line, all with 1. Tanner Horgan made it 2 ends ago. Last end, Jason Ginter with an opportunity. Moved all 3, but 2 of them stayed in behind cover. A bit of bad luck, and that's how the trouble started for them last end. He's going to make contact again here. Moves 1, moves 2. Does not move the third, but the 2 that he moved both leave the rings, and he gets his shooter off the center line a bit. That's a good result for the Van Amsterdam team.
Yeah, absolutely. So John Epping just going to come back here with the guard, Sean.
Tanner being asked to guard that shot stone again.
So,
pretty nice guard, come up enough that there's no port, and Evan needs some offense, so rather than try another run back now, they're going to look to come around.
And this one coming up over the hog line, trying to get past the guard.
Nice line coming in. They're going to get by. Now, can they get down to the face of that other green stone? They want to be tight. They want this close enough to that green that they can use one of those yellow guards to run back. Line's really good. It's just probably a little more separation than they would have liked. Jake Horgan just looking to come down to sit on top of that yellow. This is just, you know that at some point in time, Evan's going to try to run things back. If you put a green in between the two yellows, then presumably this stone stays there, and any kind of run back's only for one. This is a long ways out there. They might be sweeping for plan B now. Try to come by it. Does hang on for second shot at the back of the 4-foot. So Epping sits 2 right now. Van Amsterdam surveying the situation. You could try to freeze to the back one. That still only leaves you second shot. They are being timed in this event, so they have to be a little careful with these discussions. Jeremy Hardy wanted to come down, take a look at the angles, look where everything is. The issue that I see, I think, was part of the reason for this discussion. They still don't really have a way to get that stone off the top of the button. Yes, you could freeze the back one, but if you're all the way down to it, you're not shot rock, and you still have to deal with that one at the top of the button. I think when Evan's pointing at the raise, I don't think it's a shot they're looking at playing now. It's a shot that he's saying that might be available later on. The problem is it's tough to see a good place to put even a setup shot to give yourself a better chance to get that green one out. Probably the best place for it, if you could do it, would be to just get a sliver around your own yellow stone and then stay angled onto the green one. The higher the better, but you have to be buried a piece for that. It's tough to do. Boy, they're really going to have to go to get by the yellow. You don't want to bounce off of it. Oh, they're just going to rub. It didn't roll very far. That's not bad. It's a delicate shot for John to get to the face of that. Mind you, they have been so good at these shots early on in this game. On the brush early. Now they backed away a bit. He'd like to get right to the nose. Nice line by the guard. Gets one, actually gets the little flip over and corner freezes the yellow. Evan Van Amsterdam now in all kinds of trouble. He's going to have to move something up front now just to make sure he's got a chance to score it all. Well, he manages to pick the shot stone off the top of the button, but that still leaves Epping shot at the back 4. Second belongs to Van Amsterdam at the top of the 8. John looking at trying to come right by the 2 stones at the top of the 8, see if he can't get it into the bite of the 4. There is a risk here that he leaves a double on the green stones if he makes this, because I can't imagine it getting fully buried. But you leave the double on the greens, the shooter's probably rolling on a play, and then you've got an angle slash green onto the shallow at the top of the 8. You sit 2, and at least you've got a force. If you could bury enough of this that he can't make the double, if he stuffs it, you're in a much better spot to steal. Just sits on the corner of the other green. That's not bad where it is. Boy, this is a risky shot here for Evan Van Amsterdam. Trying the angle in. The risk here, you don't make it. You might not have a shot to score at all. Front end wondering if they might have something on the other side. There are some options with running that other yellow in. Now you're going to do it quieter if you're going to run it in, because you can run it into the green at the top of the 8 foot that's just on the 0 and the 100. That's not bad. You run it to the top of that yellow with quiet weight and just tap that back. You might get something there. Straight back to the side of the 4 foot's good. Even to split the yellow at the top of the 8 foot into the rings. Or into the 4 foot, pardon me. They could even just play straight draw around this side. That might be what they're looking at. Seems tough to get there from what we've seen so far, but the Van Amsterdam team is getting a little bit more finish on their stones. Looks like definitely with that ice, he's playing the straight draw, and even at that it looks tight for ice to get by the guard, but it looks like a lot of ice to get where they were hoping to finish up here. They're going to need some big movement at the end. Big shot here for Evan Van Amsterdam on his first, already down 4-0. Can ill afford another steal, but Epping's got shot at the back of the 4 foot right now. This is curling nicely. They're going to have a hard time getting it by the front one, though. Might not have had quite the weight. If they get that by, the way it was curling, he had a chance, I think, to get right into that 4-foot area, dead buried. Leaves the decision pretty simple for John. The 2 greens are queued up to kill that yellow, the top of the 8-foot. If he can hit the first green right on the nose, the second one probably spins into the 4-foot as well, I would think. He could be sitting 2 biting the 4-foot behind all kinds of cover, and Evan Van Amsterdam's going to have a hard time scoring. Epping with his final stone here in the 4th end. Has to throw this one a little harder than they have in the past. He's got to look to move 3 stones here. Didn't get quite back to the nose, and he does sit 4. Did he leave Evan enough room to get to that green and make the double? I don't think he did. He can get to the nose of the green, but I don't think he can stay on the high side enough to clip the second one, which means that would still be a steal one. He's looking at playing something off the yellow. You're either coming in off it or you're trying to push it into the 4-foot. Looks like they're trying to push it into the 4-foot, so just probably needs hack weight out of his hand because you're only trying to hit about 1/4 of a stone. Trailing by 4, facing 4, and all he's got is this little angle tap in towards the 4-foot to try to pick up a single point, get on the board here in the 4th end. Oh, they might have hit it too thick. Will it hang on? Cuts it down, but it's still going to be another steal of 1. John Epping, after 4 ends of play, will have a 5-0 lead. It'll be Evan Van Amsterdam with last rock once again when we come back for the 5th.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Welcome to the RockShop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, The Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Apologies as we're having some technical difficulties with the audio, but working on that. So Epping now with a 5-point lead as we play here in the fifth end. And once again, sitting two behind cover. Another chance for so Jason Ginner to try the run back. If you can move all three greens, they do have double on both sides. Got all three of them moving this time. There's nothing in the rings, but there are 5 guards in play. Evan Van Amsterdam needs as many guards as he can get right now. Try to generate some offense, yes, in this game. Too many guards to try to get rid of them all and still wanting to put some pressure on. Comes to rest in the back of the 4-foot. Shot rock, but a stone that Jeremy Hardy could try to come down to. Sweeping for curl here. This is one where they want to try to get right down to the stone at the back. They need room to get a couple in there for shot. They can't worry about being behind the tee line. He does get right down to the corner. That's a nice shot. There is a port. This is a tough shot, but it is there for Jacob Horgan. Just try to, if he negotiates the port, he's going to have a piece of that Yellowstone. Probably doesn't need to hold the shooter. Might be better if he didn't. He could leave a pocket if he does that. This has got to get by the outside yellow first. Just going to rub. Will hang around on the back of the 12-foot, but that's just a rock that something could get jammed on, actually. You saw Evan, no thought of even sweeping that through. He wanted it to stay back there. Might have liked it to stay just a little bit higher, but any piece of shrapnel back there might help them later on. For now, they're going to try to come around that center guard again. Corner freeze on their own, try to line them up to the green stone at the back of the 4. And this is going to be well short. Now they're just trying not to tap the guard off. Did move the guard over a little bit tougher to get to that Yellowstone now, but John feels like they can still make a play at it. Getting better movement this time. It's a little quieter. This almost looks like maybe he's just trying to freeze on it. Can he get to the inside actually and be shot rock? He can. Wow. One more look at this all the way down. With the ice that he had initially, I thought he was playing enough weight to try to move it. Not a lot of ice. But again, as we've talked about all game long, not a lot of swing here either. Really managed well by the brushers. They I'm sure wanted to go for the weight, but they didn't dare touch it until it started to make the break. And look at that finish as he gets across the face of the yellow. It gets just enough to the inside corner that he's actually got shot rock. They would have been happy just to sit on the face of it and make it tough for Evan to score too. They've made it tough for Evan to score at all. He's going to have to try some kind of run back here on his first one. So the long yellow guard, well, halfway yellow guard, onto the green that was just thrown. Now, if you do make it perfectly, The green will fly. The yellow will go back into the green and possibly spill back in behind cover. You could sit two buried after this, but it's very precise. There's not a lot of room for error on this first contact. He did hit a little bit off the line that he needed, enough to make contact with the ones in the house, but the green shot stone just spills into the button area. It's still shot rock. Concern here for Epping really is that you don't want to leave him some kind of a shot for three. Talked about maybe playing the same shot, come down to that yellow at the back of the 4 foot again, but it could line up. Yellow onto green, clip the other green, and everything goes except for the yellows. So he's going to try basically the same shot, but on the other side now. Try to come down, sit on the inside corner of that yellow stone at the top of the 4 foot. He can get second shot with this if he's right on the corner. And again, Evan would have a hard time scoring more than one. He might have to play one of those wide angle yellows into the shot stone in the button to try to get two. I don't think three would be an option if John can get this right to frozen. Has to get, I would think, right to the nose at least, if not to the inside. Anything on the outside might leave room to squeeze the two greens out, leave the yellow there, and it could be for three. Line looking pretty good coming in. He will get across the face. Taps at a couple of inches and sits full 4 foot himself. So Epping sitting shot. Van Amsterdam's got second. The Epping stone that was just thrown is third. And I don't see how Evan gets two without running something in from the corner. And the risk of that, well, he's looking, can you make the yellow straight back and get the double on the two greens? Maybe. That might be your only shot for three. Anything he's running back, there's a risk he could give up a steal of two. But at this point in the game, I think you have to take the chance. Haven't talked about it yet. This is a triple knockout event here. This A event quarterfinal action here this evening. The semis will go tomorrow. I'm seeing 7:30 p.m. local time as well. So tomorrow evening, the A semifinals, both teams looking to advance, but whoever falls in this one will have another opportunity through the B. Taken a lot of time to make a decision here. They've been looking at this shot the whole time, so I think most of the discussion has to be about how much weight do they want to throw. Part of it is he's trying to think, is there a way that if we make the run back double, we can hold the shooter? So when he's running this yellow back, he's got to run it back, as we look at Jeremy in the house, he's got to run it back, hit it ever so slightly on the right side of the yellow stone to catch the left side of the green stone. The green needs to miss the yellow at the top of the button, catch the green at the back of the button. If you can make that double and hold the run back stone, it's for three. In the ballpark, just a little too thin though, and he does tap it through. It's going to be another steal of two. And that'll be enough for the gloves to come off. John Epping will pick up the win here with another steal of 2. It goes into the books as a 7-0 final. I want to thank everyone for joining us here on the Curling Stadium Network. Sean Joyce, myself, and I had Dave Schmel here for a while. We did have some technical issues tonight, and we apologize for that, but we'll get that sorted out. A event quarterfinals, there's still a couple of games going on. The semifinals will be tomorrow night, and B event action on the air as well all weekend long here from the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all the way through to Championship Sunday here from the Curling Stadium Curling Network.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
You work the land, you just got to be a jack of all trades type. There's just too much to do. So if you got to be a welder or a farmer or a ditch digger, that's just who you are that day. Then tomorrow can be somebody else.